Hello and welcome back to our Lord of the Rings LCG solo progression series, and today's quest is the Hunt for Gollum, which was the first AP in the game, and naturally the first adventure pack in the Shadows of Mirkwood cycle, the cycle that accompanied the core set back in 2011. So a quick reminder that in this series we're playing through each quest in chronological order of the game's initial release, and we'll only be using player cards that were available at the time of this quest's release. I'm calling this deck We Want It because of the Gollum theme and because there are these annoying quest cards, not quest cards, clue cards that we need to grab, and we want them. I find this quest a little bit tedious at times, but the game will improve as we continue deeper into its development. So I want to mention that we are using Bilbo, the hero included in the Hunt for Gollum. His threat is 9 compared to a stat, combined stats of 6, so it's a little high. It's a lot high, actually. So in multiplayer, you don't really want to play with Bilbo. I mean, he has just two health, and the first player token moves around, and so you can't really control where that card draw is coming in. But in solo, we can draw 2 cards every round. That's pretty good. And so between him and Bearvor, we'll draw 4 cards each round. And so he's pretty good in solo. So let's get to the quest and see how we do. Okay, we want a mulligan for Steward of Gondor. Let's see if we can get it. Nope. But I do have Sneak Attack Gandalf, which is good. And Hinnemarth. Not bad. Okay, I want to adjust my cards per round to 2 because of Bilbo. The first player draws 1 additional card in the resource phase. So in cards per round, I can go to 2 instead of 1. Okay, before we do setup, let me look here in the deck and show you these clue cards. Okay, they're guarded cards, and the problem, of course, is this is almost 50 cards in the deck. If these 4 cards are somehow discarded as shadow cards, then you have to get one to win. So it can just be it can be a little frustrating, but there are ways to ensure that doesn't happen. Okay, we'll shuffle the deck. The hunt begins. Gandalf has requested your assistance in the search for the elusive creature known as Gollum. Your search begins in the Anduin Valley between Mirkwood Forest and the Misty Mountains. Setup. Reveal 1 card per player from the encounter deck and add it to the staging area. It's going to be Pursued by Shadow. When revealed, each player raises his threat by 1 for each character he controls that is not currently committed to the quest. There's 3 characters, so our threat went up to 34. Okay, 1B. We have to make 8 progress to advance. You make your way along the banks of the Anduin River, a likely place for Gollum to find food. Now, there's a forced effect that we're going to sort of tiptoe around. After the player's quest successfully, the first player looks at the top 3 cards of the encounter deck, chooses which one to reveal and add to the staging area, and discards the other. Now, that's a great way to find those Signs of Gollum cards, but we don't want to be adding cards to the staging area each round. We could become sort of overwhelmed. And so I want to try to not quest successfully. So questing successfully means having more willpower than there is threat. So if I place progress, basically, that's questing successfully. If my threat goes up because I didn't have enough willpower, that's unsuccessful questing. But if I quest for 0, that's not successful. It's not unsuccessful. It's just neutral. It doesn't have a name. But that's really kind of the sweet spot. I'll use Hinnemarth to look at what's coming and quest accordingly so that I quest for 0. At least initially I'll do that. And then once I have cards out such that I can handle whatever comes out, I will begin to quest successfully, trying to find those Signs of Gollum cards. All right, well, let's go to the resource phase, and we're going to draw 2 cards because of our friend Bilbo. Bearvor will draw us 2 cards as well. All right, I don't have Steward of Gondor, but let's go ahead and play Hinnemarth and see what's coming. Okay, the old forward is only going to have a threat of 1, so really not so bad. Let's just quest with Bilbo then. Okay, we reveal the old Ford, and X, the threat value is X. X is the number of ally cards in play. And so Bilbo only quested for 1, and so we did not quest successfully. We don't have to do this forced effect. Let's go ahead and travel to the old Ford because it can get kind of difficult to deal with when it's when you're starting to play a lot of allies. Okay, we will refresh and go on to the next round. Just looking for Steward of Gondor. Let's draw 2 cards. What's coming? Hinnemarth. Okay, Signs of Gollum, our first one. Okay, so I need to decide what I want to do. Let's go ahead and put a... So I don't know what's coming, but I have the ultimate insurance policy with Sneak Attack Gandalf, so I'm going to just not quest. Okay, we reveal... I'm questing, but I'm not committing characters. We reveal Signs of Gollum, which has to be guarded, so let's reveal another card to guard it. It's Banks of the Anduin. Alright, so our threat went up by 1. We did not quest successfully. When Banks of the Anduin leaves play, then we'll be able to unattach Signs of Gollum, add it to the staging area, and then whenever it's in that condition and we quest successfully, we can grab it. Alright, refresh. And we're still looking for Steward. Let's grab 2 cards with Paravor. And let's play Glaeowine and draw a card. Okay, what's coming? Pursued by Shadow, each player raises his threat by 1 for each character he controls that is not currently committed to the quest. So my threat's going to go up because I'm only going to quest with Bilbo. My threat will go up by 4. Not so bad. So we're questing just with Bilbo. We reveal Pursued by Shadow. When revealed, each player raises his threat by 1 for each character he controls that is not currently committed to the quest. That's 4. We did not quest successfully. So we're definitely just kind of stalling out here a little bit. Goodness. No Steward yet. Okay, what is coming Hinnemarth? Gladden Fields. All right. Let's go ahead and play Celebrian Stone onto Aragorn. It is restricted attachment. Attached hero gains +2 willpower. And if the hero is Aragorn, he gains a spirit resource icon. We'll quest just with Aragorn. And we reveal Gladden Fields, and we did not quest successfully. Refresh. Next round. There's Steward. Took us a little while. Alright. We'll draw 2 cards with Paravor. Okay, I'm going to create a little bit of a junk pile. It's kind of hard to see what's in my hand, so any of these duplicates I'm going to add to this junk pile. Let's play Steward of Gondor onto Aragorn. Alright, what's coming? Hinnemarth. Evil Storm. Deal 1 damage to each character controlled by each player with a threat of 35 or higher. I could play a Test of Will and cancel it. What I'm going to actually do, though, is play using Aragorn's resources, this Galadrim's Greeting, and lower my threat by 6. And then I'm going to play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just going to play Gandalf from my hand, just the regular way, and lower my threat by 5. And I'm going to quest with Aragorn. Let's put before I quest with him, let's put a Protector of Lorien onto him. And now I'm going to quest with Aragorn and with Bilbo. And we reveal Evil Storm. When revealed, deal 1 damage to each character controlled by each player with a threat of 35 or higher. Our threat's under 35, so it just misses. Alright, that's staging. During the action window after staging, I'm going to discard a card to fuel Protector of Lorien. Let's discard this Steward of Gondor duplicate. That boosts Aragorn. And so we made 2 progress, and we cleared the old fort. But before we place a progress, let's talk a little bit about this forced effect. After the player's quest successfully, the first player looks at the top 3 cards of the encounter deck, reveal and add 1, discard the other 2. So questing successfully happens at the beginning of the quest resolution step before you place progress. So we've determined that we quested successfully. But before we place progress, we have to do this forced effect because it's determined, the order is, did you quest successfully? That's almost like a step of the quest resolution phase, a step. And then you place progress. But in between those 2 things, we have to do any forced effect or response that triggers off of questing successfully. So we have to do this. Now, when we add a card to the staging area, even if it has threat, it's not going to change the results. I will place 2 progress. They're not going to contribute their threat to the staging area in contrast to our willpower. Okay, so we're looking at the top 3 cards. And we will add Eves of Mirkwood to the staging area and discard this Eastern Crows and the Hunters from Mordor. Okay, and so now that we've done that force effect, we place our progress 1, 2, and we cleared the old ford. Now let's travel to the banks of the Anduin. And we will stop there, refresh. This refresh card is the Gladden field, but it has to be in the active location slot. So that's what that tag means. Okay, at the end of the round, we discard Gandalf from play because we just played him from our hand. Okay. There's Faramir. Let's look at what's coming as a Hunters from Mordor. Drawing a card with Gleowine. Okay, so we might as well clear Eves of Mirkwood. I wish I had a Song of Kings in play, but I don't. Let's let's put out 2 Snowborn Scouts. And when they enter play, we have this response: place 1 progress token on a location. So Eves of Mirkwood left play. Okay, so we're going to have 4 threat here. 4 and 3 is 7. I can quest for 4 and 5. And then I could discard 2 cards with a Protector of Lorien to keep from questing successfully. I think that I will do that. Okay, we're going to quest with Aragorn and Bilbo. And we reveal Hunters from Mordor. Hunters from Mordor gets +2 attack and +2 threat for each clue card in play. There is 1. So he's going to be a total of 4 threat and 4 attack. So that was staging, and I'm going to quest unsuccessfully unless I do something about it. Let's discard 2 cards using Protector of Lorien. I'll discard this Celebrian Stone and this Hinamarth to boost Aragorn's willpower to 6, and so we made a total of 7 willpower. So we did not quest successfully. Okay, Hunters from Mordor engages us. He's going to attack and kill. How many Riverlands are in play? Just one. Okay, he's going to attack and kill Snowborn Scout. He leaves play. At the end of combat, this shadow card is discarded next round. Okay, Steward of Gondor, Beorhtric draws 2 cards. Hinamarth's going to look. Okay, another Signs of Gollum. Let's draw a card with Gleowine. All right, 1, 2, 3. Let's put a Forced Snare onto Hunters from Mordor. So now he cannot attack us. I don't know what's coming out, but I kind of want to start questing successfully anyway. Let's play a Song of Kings onto Bilbo. And we will also play 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's play let's put Faramir into play. And at the beginning of questing, we're going to sneak attack Gandalf in. And we're going to lower our threat by 5. We'll quest with Gandalf and Bilbo and with Aragorn. Okay, we reveal Signs of Gollum. It's going to be guarded by Treacherous Fog. When revealed, each location in the staging area gets +1 threat until the end of the phase. Then each player with a threat of 35 or higher chooses and discards 1 card from his hand. Our threat's under 35, but Gladden Fields is going to have a threat of 4. I usually just put the threat on this actual card so that I don't put it on Gladden Fields and then forget. Okay, so I've made 5 progress, but I actually can do better than that. I'm going to do, during the staging action window, I'm going to exhaust Faramir to boost our characters by 1 willpower each. So 1, 2, 3. And during the staging window, I can also take actions to continue to let's do it. Let's go ahead and discard 3 cards with Protector of Lorien, and that would mean that I just defeat The Hunt Begins. Okay, so I'm going to discard 3 cards. 1, 2, 1, 2, and this Hasty Stroke. So I boosted Aragorn. So now we're going to make 11 progress. Okay, so we have quested successfully. So at the beginning of quest resolution, we determine we've quested successfully. And there are 2, but we can't place progress, right? So let's go ahead and do this. Let's put the 11 time counters out. Just reminded us that's how much progress we've made. So there's this one, after players quest successfully. And there's this, after players quest successfully. So the order is you have to do forced effects first when there's 2 conditions that are triggered by the same effect. We'll do the forced effect and then the guarded. Okay, so the forced effect comes first. We have to look at the top 3, add 1, discard the other 2. And that card that we're going to add would be not False Lead, because I can't cancel it. I guess we'll just put Old Ford into play. We'll discard False Lead. We'll discard Hunters from Mordor. Okay, now Old Ford, when it's added to the staging area, it gets X threat. X is the number of ally cards in play. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 currently. But its 5 threat is not going to take our progress down. The 11 is set. I think I've said that before, but you don't include the threat from the card that's added at this point. It's just added, but it does not change the number. And then also this here treacherous fog, when it says each location in the staging area gets +1 threat until the end of the phase. That would be it would not adjust the old forward, because this happened immediately when it was revealed. Technically, I should have discarded this already. It should be right here, because once it fired, it was discarded, so it shouldn't be on top of the encounter discard pile. Okay, so we made our 11 progress, but actually before that, we've done this force effect. Now we do this response. After the player's quest successfully, the players may claim Signs of Gollum if it has no attached encounters. And we attach it to a hero committed to the quest. Let's put it on Bilbo. So we've done this force effect that triggers off of questing successfully. We've done that one, the response. Okay, so we place 11 progress. 1, 2, 3, and then 8, which clears stage 1. Okay, so when Banks of the Anduin leaves play, we place it on top of the encounter deck. And of course now Signs of Gollum, this one is free of encounters. I should be boosting this Hunters from Mordor. Okay, but I don't actually gain this because it was not free of encounters when I quested, successfully, right? I placed progress after all that, so it's just in staging. Okay, so we did clear 1B, and we move on to 2A. A new terror abroad. The wood was full of the rumor of him, dreadful tales even among beasts and birds. The woodmen said that there was some new terror abroad, a ghost that drank blood. Okay, we have to make 10 progress to advance past this stage. Rumors have led you, it's called a new terror abroad, I think I already said that. Rumors have led you to the eaves of Mirkwood Forest, where the woodmen whisper of a new terror in the night. A force at the beginning of the quest phase, the first player looks at the top 2 cards of the encounter deck, will reveal one, discard the other. That's at the beginning of questing. We're past that at this round. Okay, so now let's travel to the old Ford. During combat, we had brought him in during questing, didn't we, with sneak attack? Yes. So he came back to our hand at the end of questing, then we traveled to the old Ford, and then during combat, Hunters from Mordor gets a shadow card but can't attack us, so it's discarded. We will refresh and move on to the next round. Steward, Bearvor draws us 2 cards. And Glaeowine will draw us 1. What is coming? Oh wait, I don't want to do that actually. So I'm actually going to shuffle this deck, not because I'm trying to cheat, but I don't really want to know what's coming because I'm going to choose between 2 options anyway. So looking at the top one doesn't do me any good. At this point, I just want to use Hinnemarth to chump, possibly, or to quest with him. Okay. Speaking of chumps, we need one. Let's go ahead and put out this Snowborn Scout. When he enters play, we place a progress on a location. Let's put it on Gladden Fields. And then we will, at the beginning of questing, before we commit characters, let's go ahead and put a Protector of Lorien on to Aragorn here. Alright, so we are going to, at the beginning of questing, before we commit characters, we're going to do this forced effect. Choose between 2 cards, add 1, discard the other. Alright, our choices are either Hunters from Mordor or Eves from Mirkwood. I will discard Hunters from Mordor, add Eves of Mirkwood to the staging area. Okay, so that was the beginning of questing. Now, before we commit characters, we have that action window. Let's go ahead and sneak attack Gandalf into play. I guess I'll spend Bilbo's resource. sneak attack. And we will lower our threat by 5. We're going to quest with Gandalf and Hinnemarth and Bilbo and with Aragorn. We reveal the East Bank. All right. And so now during staging, that action window afterward will exhaust Faramir. 1, 2, 3, 4 questing characters. We're at 14. So we'll make 6 progress. And I can actually make 12 by discarding 6 cards to Protector of Lorien. Let's go ahead and do that. I don't need all these cards anyway, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The Protector of Lorien, discard a card from your hand to give attached hero +1 willpower until the end of the phase. I can do that right now, and I can do it for both cards. Limit 3 times per phase, but you can have multiple copies. Okay, so we're done with staging, so now quest resolution. We did quest successfully, but this is not the last round, so we can just place progress like normal. 1, 2, and 10. All right, so we cleared a new terror abroad. And let's move on to the final stage on the trail. Oh wait, before we place progress, we should have grabbed this Signs of Gollum. It was in play, I forgot. On the trail, but at the western edge of Mirkwood, the trail turned away. It wandered off southwards and passed out of the wood elves' ken and was lost. All right, 8 progress needed. Any player who does not control a hero with at least 1 clue objective attached cannot commit characters to the quest. Well, we have a hero with a clue card, so we can commit characters. And then if there are ever no heroes with clue objectives attached in play, reset the quest deck to 2. So we do have a hero in play with a clue objective attached, so we don't have to reset. We can just move on. If we defeat the stage, we've won the game. Okay, let's travel somewhere, potentially. Nah, we'll just leave these guys in staging. Okay, shadow card for Hunters from Mordor, and it's just discarded. Gandalf did come back to our hand. We will refresh and move on to the next round, and we'll win the game here. Okay, we have, we don't really care what's coming. With Hinnemarth, there's no reason to look. If it's a treachery, we can just cancel it with Test of Will. 1, 2, let's play Guard of the Citadel. And we'll play a stand and fight. No, that's not true. Okay, we'll play Guard of the Citadel using Bilbo's resource and Aragorn's. We've got out 2 guards. I want to be able to sneak attack and play Test of Will, so I'm going to leave these 2 resources on Aragorn. Can I do anything with this resource? I cannot. Let's just quest with everybody. All right. Will this be enough? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That'll be 20. Yeah, we'll be good. Okay, so we reveal Evil Storm. When revealed, deal 1 damage to each character controlled by each player with a threat of 35 or higher. Our threat's at 26. So now I'm going to exhaust during the staging action window, Faramir. So we're talking about, I meant to sneak attack Gandalf in. Quest with him and lower our threat by 5. So now I exhaust Faramir in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 25 progress. And so we make 17 on the active quest, and we won the game. Cool. So that was not so bad in 9 rounds. So, you can see that The clue cards could be a little bit annoying if they're discarded as shadow cards. That can just mean the game takes longer. But with Will of the West, we could survive it. Definitely we could lower a threat because we can do Will of the West and then recur 3 sneak attacks. We can play Gandalf from our hand. So eventually we're just gonna. There's no way to really lose this quest, I don't think. Maybe in the early rounds if you got too many enemies somehow. I don't know, but it's a little bit clunky with the questing piece. Questing successfully, and when do you do that? It's not very clear. So there have been a lot of emails that were sent. Initially people asked a lot of clarifying questions, and so the facts, the FAQs, are very important. So make sure to read that if you're a player. Kind of get familiar with the different rulings that have brought about clarity in the past with some of these quests that were a little bit iffy. Like what do you do here? So this one was not my favorite quest, but we're going to move on to one that I really like, which is Conflict at the Carrick. That'll be our next quest, and probably the best one in the original, other than Journey Along the Anduin. The best quest in the original cycle, I think, would be Conflict at the Carrick. So looking forward to sharing that with you, and I hope you'll join me next time. Have a great day.